Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. As always, we've got a new guest for you every week, and this week, somebody very familiar to our community. It's Sandy Waggett. How's Sandy today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for coming over.
My pleasure.
We appreciate it. She is so busy. It's hard to get her to find a few minutes. And I'm not kidding. I mean, you are the owner-operator of MSW Interactive Designs, right? Everybody knows about that. You've just written a book, Bold Moves, which is huge, big success. You're doing business coaching, and you have this new company going called happyonpurpose.com. What is that all about?
So that is really the brand around the book, because the title of the book is Bold Moves.
Yeah.
Take back your power, reclaim your peace, and live happy on purpose. So happy on purpose is the thing that, is the outcome from the book. And so it seemed to make sense that that would be the brand that I build it around. Yeah. So all the resources associated with the book and all that stuff, they're there.
That kind of says it all, doesn't it? Happy on purpose.
Yeah.
Three little words, but a whole lot of meaning in there. So how do you do it all? I mean, I think I'm busy until I see what you're doing on Facebook, and you're all over the country, all over the world doing book signings and writing another book. And how do you fit it all in?
I schedule my calendar very well, and weeks, months. Like if you look at my calendar, it's booked out all the way through the end of the year. Wow. But you have to do that now so that you can have that balance. So my time is scheduled, my personal time, all that's on the calendar, and then I work in the business stuff around that.
Wow.
And then adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline comes in handy, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, so the book is called Bold Moves. What is Bold Moves all about? What is the book about?
So it's about toxic relationships in our lives. We all have them at some level. And first of all, how to set boundaries around those so that we can function, or how to release those if that's going to serve us better. And then if you've had a toxic relationship in your life for some time, there's traits that we internalize as humans that don't serve us well as adults. And so there's frameworks to help you address and overcome those.
Toxic relationships.
Yeah.
What is a toxic relationship?
That's a really good question, because it differs for everybody.
Yeah.
So for me, I give examples of several in my life. Mm-hmm. So one was my mom, a relationship that I really struggled with emotionally and mentally for years and years, decades, really. But then there's examples also, you can have a toxic relationship that's a coworker. You can feel it in your central nervous system when you're involved or dealing with a toxic relationship at any level. So just from the smallest things, it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a person in a certain situation. So one of the examples I give in the book is Christmas at my stepsister's. Love my stepsister. There's no toxic relationship there. But the relationship during the holiday event was very hard on me, just because how everybody interacted and how she engaged those interactions with the family. Yeah. So, we all have them at certain levels. And
no doubt.
So the book really helps you navigate that.
And they can be family, they can be work, they can be almost anything, really.
Yes.
It's people involved. So you let me get a sneak peek of the book actually before it came out, and it's just incredible.
Thank you for endorsing it, by the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was easy. Looks like you had a lot of fun. I mean, it's a serious subject, but it looks like you had a lot of fun putting it together. You were very creative and putting the chapters together and everything like that.
Yeah. So it's funny because people that have known me for a long time know that I've had the book in me for decades. Yeah. And so I always joked that I was going to call it Tales of a Redheaded Stepchild. But I hired a book coach to write it. And so she guides you through this process of, pulling the book out of you, outlining the chapters, and then filling in stories, and then filling in here's what I want you to do, or here's what I suggest you do. Right. So when I was writing the book, the chapters are really, when someone picks up a book, right, if you're at Barnes & Noble or whatever, they pick up the book, they go to the table of contents. So the chapters sell the book. So I named them in such a way that people get it. So never stop when you're on a roll. step into the power of your confidence. Don't foster the imposter, so imposter syndrome, right?
Wow.
Not everyone is out to screw you.
Shh, can't say that on TV.
Oh, sorry,
no,
sorry.
I'm kidding.
Cry ugly, laugh big, don't be the kink in your own hose.
Wow.
So that gives you a feel for some of the topics. Unleash your inner freak. Throw confetti for yourself. That's my favorite one.
There you go.
So yeah, so the chapters are along that line, and it's a very empowering book. And the feedback I've gotten in that line has been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell just by the work you put in on the chapter titles that you put a lot of thought and effort into that.
Definitely.
How long does it take to write a book like that? Is that, well, I know it was decades in the making.
Yeah, it was in my brain.
Yeah. So to put it on paper, does it take a while or does it come out in like a week?
No, it took a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, and the process. I mean, you know, because you've written a book. When you think you're done, you've really only just begun.
Yeah.
Right, because then you go through the editing process and the cover design and all the stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So I really learned a lot through the process.
Yeah. Sometimes it seems like it's never going to end. How are sales going?
Really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really good. I wrote the book because I wanted to have impact.
Yeah.
You know, and help people. And the best thing that's happened when people have bought the book, then they call me or message me and they're like, I want to buy 6 more because I have people I need to give this book to.
Yeah.
And that just tells me that, you know, it has the power to change lives. And that's really what I wanted.
Kind of has the power to make you cry too, doesn't it? When you get that feedback and it's kind of like a, you know, thank you God for letting me help these people or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it feels good as there's some validation. And, you know, when you write a book, you never know how it's going to be received.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how much you put into it. And, you know, this is deeply personal work, too. I mean, I shared some very intimate stories. It's not about me, but there's vignettes,
Yeah.
you know, that people can relate to in their own lives. And, it's vulnerable to put it out there.
Very vulnerable. All right, we're talking with Sandy Waggett, Happy on Purpose, and the book is Bold Moves. We'll have more with Sandy here on the Spotlight Show right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Loring. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center. Talking with Sandy Waggett, Happy on Purpose, and the book's Bold Moves, right? Okay, so the company, the business, Happy on Purpose, the book, Bold Moves. And now I noticed on your book that your name isn't Sandy Waggett on there. There's Sandy Wardenberg. Why is there a different name on there?
Well, so Wardenberg is my maiden name.
Okay.
Yeah, so Larry Wardenberg in the Lake of the Ozarks community, lived here my whole life. I grew up coming here in the summers. And, you know, my family. So it mattered to me to have Wardenberg on the book.
Right.
So.
Okay, can they find the book if they put in Sandy Waggett?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you go to Amazon and search for Sandy Waggett, Bold Moves, or Sandy Wardenberg, Bold Moves, you'll find it.
Okay. So now this book is a serious book, has a real purpose behind it. You've got like resources and exercises and stuff in there. Like what are some of those resources and exercises?
Yeah, so every chapter has calls to action along the way throughout the chapter that there are action items and frameworks for you to do. One of them that's my favorite is to list 30 things that bring you joy.
Ooh, wow.
And, you know, one of the the questions that naturally comes is why 30, right?
Yeah.
Why not 5 or 10?
Yeah.
Because the first 5 are easy, right? And then if I say 10, you're like, okay, and you think a little harder, and you can name 10.
Yeah.
But when I ask you to name 30, you have to dig pretty deep. They're there, but that's really where you find the gold.
Wow.
Right? So that's one of the exercises that you'll do in the book. And the book references going back to happyonpurpose.com. And then you can get all the resources and exercises that are in the book on, like a worksheet format.
Yeah.
So you can actually take notes. And I've got a journal coming out that goes with the book too. So that'll be out soon. But that's just one of them. And then another one is a daily text message that you can subscribe to that is intended to be a pattern interrupt on your day. So to just pause, make you pause and think. So if you text the word happy to 40691, that'll subscribe you. And you just get one a day.
Okay.
It's short and sweet, but it's just in the middle of the day. And you read it and you're like, yeah, okay, that's a good reminder.
Wow.
I got to stop and think. And
anybody can do that?
Yeah, it's free.
Okay, happy 40691.
Yes.
And then you get one text message.
One text
a
message.
day from Sandy.
You do.
All right. You can get up close and personal with a star.
You can
right?
even reply to them. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. No. You're going to get busier now. So what is your why? What is your purpose for this? I mean, you're so busy. You're already successful with a business, with MSW Interactive Designs. You could just sit on the beach for the rest of your life and be happy, and yet you're going a million miles an hour with this. Why?
I feel like I was put here to have impact and to help change lives. And my coach a few years ago challenged me to come up with 3 words that represented the best of who I could be. Yeah. And my 3 words, she stretches you. That's the job of a coach, right? And so that's what inspired me to become a coach too. Yeah. So my words are transformative, inspiring, and bold. And they're on the back of the book. And this is just a vehicle to help accomplish what I feel is part of my purpose in life. So just mentally, emotionally, and in business, having impact is what fires me up. Yeah. It lights me up to see change in people's lives.
Well, you're doing that in several different avenues. You're doing that with the book, Bold Moves. You're doing that with coaching. Now, is this business coaching, group coaching, one-on-one coaching? What kind of coaching?
Yes.
All of that?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's kind of cool when you get that feedback when you're coaching one-on-one. I mean, you don't really get that with the book, really. You're hoping that's happening.
Yeah, it comes in the form of reviews. Right?
There you go. But you really get it one-on-one with people.
Yes and no. And the reason I say that is because when you're coaching someone one-on-one, it is not about you, right? It's about them.
That's a good point.
And you're guiding them, challenging them to discover their own answers, their own solutions, and to think bigger and more boldly about themselves and their capabilities. So the feedback isn't really yours, it's theirs. They leave with a lot of ahas, and that feels good. So it's subtle feedback in a way.
That's so important, though. I mean, that's pretty selfless, but that's a really good point because pretty much all of us were in this for us. How do I feel about this, and not putting us to the side and it's all about you, right?
Well, it's fascinating because that's really the difference between consulting and coaching too. So I just was in St. Louis yesterday on a consulting job, and on a consulting job, you're hired to bring answers. Yeah. Right? You meet and learn about the problem, and then you go away, come up with a solution, and you go present the solution. That's consulting. Coaching, on the other hand, is not that at all. So it's all about them. Okay. And you pull the answers out from them because we all have our own answers. Yeah. Right? You're
just trying to get
we just
that
stay
out.
In our comfort zones and don't stretch.
All right. So real quickly, we're out of time. How do people get your book?
Amazon.com. So you can just search by the title, Bold Moves, or go to happyonpurpose.com, and there's a link there. And we have Happy on Purpose gear too, so you can wear your happy.
All right. That is Sandy Waggett. The book is Bold Moves. The company is happyonpurpose.com. Thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.